Hey guys, this is Nathan from RunDreamAchieve.com. Today's video, I want to talk about how to become a faster runner. Everybody wants to do that. Obviously, it's much easier to just to go out and enjoy an easy run and to do it for fitness, and there's certainly a lot of perks with just getting out the door and improving your fitness by just spending a lot of time on your feet and running slow. Um, but it's an art form to run fast, and the reason why I say that is, you know, running fast for long periods of time doesn't happen overnight. It's a true test to see what you're really capable of and how badly you really want it. Um, you know, I've known a lot of athletes over the years that were interested in running faster, but committing to go faster, committing to the steps needed to become a faster runner is a whole different, I don't know, a whole different animal in regards to training for 5K to the marathon distance. Um, how to become a faster runner involves obviously you getting comfortable being uncomfortable. It's not just enough just to rely on your talent. If you do have a level of talent, you know, kudos to you. I wish I was one of those athletes. I never had a lot of talent whatsoever. I had a crazy amounts of work ethic. I mean, I was so driven and so focused on trying to, level up and get to the next level in my athletic performance that I was willing to get out the door and put in the work. And you know, um, I absolutely love making these videos because I know I'm speaking to athletes of all backgrounds. I don't know, and from all parts of the world. So it's very gratifying for me to be able to speak with you at least in this way. I mean, I know it's not face to face, but making a video or writing a post on RunDreamAchieve.com is my way of kind of just reaching out and seeing what is your pain point, what is the issue that you're having that's causing you not to become a faster runner. What are you doing in training? Are you putting in, you're putting in the work, but you don't seem like you're getting faster. So how to become a faster runner, in my opinion, obviously is taking whatever goal pace you want to hit for regardless of the distance, whether it's the mile, the 5K, the 10K, 15K, half marathon, marathon, whatever it is, and really putting in the work, training faster than that pace. And the name of the game when it comes to becoming a faster runner is patience. You have to have it. You cannot expect instant results. I failed over and over and over preparing for the marathon. I never thought I'd be a marathon runner. I started running it in 2002 at the New York City Marathon. I was a part of a Armed Forces marathon running team where we started in last place. Chase Manhattan Bank was donating $1 to lung cancer research, so we weren't permitted to start the race until every runner had crossed the start line, and then we were allowed to start. So, long story short, it was a huge experience, but to be able to go from dead last, which was 3,289th, up to 257th by the time I finished the race, was gratifying, but also to experience that type of pain, and then pretty much spending from 2002 to 2007 trying to figure out what on earth, what do I need to do to get from 243, which is what I ran that day, to 222, which was back in 2007, was the 2008 USA Olympic Trials B standard for the marathon. You needed to run 2 hours and 22 minutes to qualify for the Olympic Trials. The Olympic Trials A standard at that time was 2 hours and 20 minutes. So, I couldn't rely on the if I had any amount of talent, I couldn't rely on that because I just didn't have the ability of, say, a Dathan Ritzenhein or a Mo Farah or a Meb Keflezighi, Kenny Bekele, these names that we've heard of. If you're newer to the sport, these are world class at the very top of the the pinnacle of distance running. They're the very best. But that being said, as good as they are, they've experienced DNFs, did not finishes. They've experienced races where they were on either world record pace or on just a great pace, and just shut down. And this happens to everybody. So how to become a faster runner also involves a huge amount of persistence and consistency. You got to continue to put in the work. You can't just rely on, okay, well, I had a great race. Um, you know, you can't rely on that. You can't rely on that last race. Okay, you got to continue to stay persistent and focused on what you want to do. And a lot of times we kind of misjudge the amount of time it's going to take us to accomplish a goal. I mean, the key regarding that is not losing enthusiasm. You cannot lose enthusiasm regardless if you're succeeding or failing. You got to stay focused, and that's really a huge percentage of the puzzle of trying to figure out how to become a faster runner. Obviously, you got to spend a lot of time, training faster than you're wanting to race at. When I was training I'm still training, but not to the level that I once was back in I'm 42 now. I ran my PR for the marathon when I was 31, and my last marathon was in 2013. I ran a 2:32, and 2:19:35 is my marathon PR back from 2007. So, like I said, I had to deal with asking myself and coming to grips with, was I putting in the work? Okay, yeah, I was putting in the work. I was putting in what I thought was correct, but I wasn't getting the results. So I had to really drill down and try to figure out what works for the marathon distance. What are the other athletes? What are they doing in training that I'm missing? Because I had a lot of motivation, a lot of willingness to get better, but the results still weren't showing. And like I said, from 2002 to 2007, like I said, I had 2002 I ran 2:43, 2007 I ran 2:19:35. So, and in between there were a lot of successes and failures. So, that's one of the most important key tips I can give you. Is just motivation and being persistent, consistent with what you're doing on a daily basis, writing down your goals, trusting in your gut that you can do it, and you also have to be willing. Do you believe in delayed gratification? There's some athletes, such as myself. I didn't have a lot of talent, but I was willing to continue to put in the work because I believed in what I was doing. So much that it didn't matter what the conditions were outside, how much mileage I needed to put in. Like I said in previous videos, I got up to 142 miles a week. That clearly didn't work. So that's another way to get faster, is to learn from your mistakes, and more importantly, learn from the mistakes that other athletes have made. That's why I tried to be really honest with my readers and the subscribers to the YouTube channel here. Is learn from those mistakes, and if you continue to do them, what's the saying? If you keep, what's the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. So if something's not working in your training, then obviously you have to make some corrections in. Maybe it's your mileage. Maybe you're training. Maybe you're not running enough mileage. Maybe you're not running. Maybe you're running too much mileage. More importantly, when it comes to running faster, are you putting in the mileage, but you're not putting in enough quality mileage? So I'm a big believer in quality versus quantity. I got caught up too in that, where you thinking that I got to run more mileage and that's going to be the answer. Well, that's not always the answer for a lot of athletes. I learned that lesson very, very well. And when it comes to running faster, that's the name of the game. When you're training to run faster for a longer period of time, you've got to train at a higher heart rate for a longer period of time. And that's not something that happens overnight. It's the physiological adaptations that occur from doing those types of workouts may take more than it definitely will take several months to get the optimal result, to get in that flow state where everything is just clicking and you just run a type of effort that you didn't even think was possible. They call those the flow states, where you're super smooth, you've tapered correctly, you've done everything right. And maybe that particular performance isn't going to come down the road until like 5 years from now, maybe 10 years from now. How badly do you want that? You know, how badly are you willing to, you know, accept the trials and errors along the way to get to that step. You know, a lot of athletes that I trained with over the years, you know, they had other things in their lives. They were doing other things. You know, in high school, in college, even when I joined the Army back in 2001, late 2001, November 2001. You know, mostly all my focus was on getting faster. And that's not to say that you have to, you know, give up life and stop enjoying, you know, time with family and friends and doing things. But if you truly want this, if you truly, you know, want to take it to the next step in your performance levels, then you really got to niche down. You got to niche down and really, you know, focus in on what you want and decide, okay, this may take me 5 years, this may take me a decade to get to this point, but these are the steps, and this is what I want to do. That's the characteristic of all the athletes that I've trained with over the years. I've lived with the Kenyans, I've lived with world-class Europeans, other world-class American athletes. They all had the same tenacity. I mean, they're just razor sharp focused on what they want to do, and that's the key. And you know, I've worked with associates. You know, I got a close friend that I work with now. This guy's got incredible talent. He's fired up about being a relationship coach. He's got expertise in that area. He's highly educated. He's obviously he's got coming up on 19 years of experience in the military. And this gentleman has all the tools. It's just a matter, you know, we discuss business all the time, and we discuss the things we need to do and steps we need to take. And he is on that path. He's starting to write down what he needs to do. He's making the changes, but he has to take action. And that's what I continue to tell him. I was like, hey man, you know, he tells me all the time, well, you're good at this or you're good at that. Well, he's good in a lot of areas too. He's just got to maximize what he truly wants to do and niche down into that area, and he's going to succeed. He's already a success as it is, but he wants to move from the military into doing something that he truly loves and he's passionate about doing. And that's what you have to do to become a faster runner. It's more than just the getting out the door and putting in the work. It's what are you doing the other hours of your day? You know, there's far too many Americans and people around the world wasting far too much time watching BS news, negative news. That's not ever going to put, you know, ask yourself this: when was the last time CNN, MSNBC, Fox News ever put, you know, any money in your bank account? When was the last time that the television set made you, you know, become physically fit? You have to put in the work. You can't just accept, you know, it's, you know, where you put your focus is key. Okay. If you want to be a faster runner, then you're going to have to put in the heavy work necessary to become that type of athlete that you want to be. You know, I can tell you right now, I started my website, RunDreamAchieve.com, back in 2011. If I was just interested in that site being productive and being successful, you know, it would have never grown as it has. You know, I've been fully committed. I was writing posts back when nobody was reading, when I had very little traffic. I just recently, in January of this year, just started making YouTube videos after a lot of years of not wanting to make them. You know, I had phobias of, you know, for whatever reason, talking in front of camera. And now it's to the point where I don't really care at this point. I mean, I don't really care in terms of what if I say something that's going to offend somebody. Obviously, I don't want to offend anybody, but if I say something that doesn't resonate with somebody else, what do they think? Well, at the end of the day, you can't please everybody. Okay, there's going to be things that you say that are going to resonate with somebody, and there's other people that will say, well, I already know all that, or I have my own opinion, and they have that right. But if you got to just don't waste so much time worrying about what other people think. Be productive, share value. You know, give back to other people. You know, just as people have given to you in some way. We've all, you know, if we're successful in any way, that's because we've either had family, friends, co-workers, or people around us that support us that have helped us do that. So, you know, in regards to becoming a faster runner, These are just some of the things I really want you to focus on. I want you to be a success, obviously. I want you to go to RunDreamAchieve.com, go to the archive section, read some of the articles I've written. Feel free, if you haven't subscribed yet to this channel, to subscribe to the channel. Click on the bell icon so when new videos are made, you'll be the first to know. But definitely check out some of the videos. I mean, I share my successes and failures on the channel, and the end goal is to help athletes such as yourself to run faster, obviously, but to sustain pace over a long period of time more economically, more efficiently. And it's just tough love. It's you're not gonna become a faster runner by running 90% of your weekly volume at 1 to 2 minutes slower than you're focused on racing at. Running a marathon or running a 5K is one thing. Racing a 5K, racing a half marathon, racing a marathon is a whole different ballgame, because there's you have to train at a higher anaerobic level and at your aerobic capacity, which is aerobic capacity. You're up close to your maximum heart rate. That's very painful, and that's not something that it doesn't feel good for anybody. No matter if you're a world-class athlete or a novice or somebody that's just brand new to the sport. But it's those people that just continue to put in the work regardless if they even see the results initially. These are the type of people that are willing to put in the weeks, months, years, decades of hard work to get to where they want to be. And that's the name of the game when it comes to becoming a faster runner, is being motivated, being willing to persist regardless what you have to deal with, being willing to spend that sufficient time training at a pace that's far faster than you're wanting to race at. Also spend a lot of time, I'm telling you from experience, this works. Alternate the paces of your long runs. I've had a lot of people contact me telling me, I haven't really focused on that enough. Maybe I need to start doing that. Maybe I need to start spending a little bit more time during my long run at a faster pace, at a higher heart rate, and see if that works. And then spending, alternating, efforts, going from one weekend running a harder long run to spending the next weekend just relaxed, easy recovery pace, where you're not focused on splits and you're not, the distance of your, how far you have to run, and that's all that matters. You don't even have a watch on. You're just kind of like, I'm just going to relax, I'm going to chill. But the following week, the next week, I'm going to hammer it. I'm going to go out and I'm going to do, the types of, like, for example, a type of long run I did when I was training, when I was still a 243 marathoner trying to break 222, is I would do a 20-mile long run, and every fourth mile, I would drop a sub 5-minute mile in the middle of it, in the middle of my long run. And all the rest of the miles in between were anywhere from like 5:35 to 6-minute mile pace. These were very, very hard long runs, very, very difficult. That's why I stress in the 2 courses that I've built. I'm working on another one right now for athletes that are wanting to specialize in half marathon. But that's what I would do. I would alternate running at 160 beats per minute, and then dropping a sub 5-minute mile in every fourth mile. So mile 4, mile 8, mile 12, mile 16, I would drop a sub 5. And that type of that length of time spending at such a high anaerobic effort, obviously it's very, very taxing. It's very fatiguing. That's why you take those easy days very, very easy. I've mentioned this in the past, but I've trained with 210 marathoners that would jog. These are guys that can hold sub 5-minute mile pace for 26.2 miles. They would run 9 to 10-minute mile pace on their recovery days. So slow most other athletes would be ahead of them. If they can do that, if they can have that same mentality to back off when it counts, then so can you. So be very, very smart. If you want to be a faster runner, you have to also be just as disciplined to back off when you know you should. It's extremely important. That in itself is an art form, because there's so many of us that want to that are focused on how many miles a week am I running, what am I running my paces at, but miss that step of going much easier than really than they should be, or they're running too fast on their easy days, pretty much. Okay, and they need to back off, and that's a lesson I had to learn. And the same that you may have to learn, but hopefully you won't have to learn that. You learn from my mistakes and you learn from the mistakes of other athletes. So I went into a lot of different areas. I hope this video has been helpful for you. Obviously, if you have another specific question that this video did not answer, feel free to leave a comment below. Give me a like, thumbs down, whatever, whichever works. I'll obviously really value the input of the athletes that comment on these videos and that come to RunDreamAchieve.com. Seeing you guys succeed is really, really important to me. I know what it feels like to be at the highest level of athletics and how long it took me to do that. And I want to see other athletes do that. That's really, it's extremely gratifying for me to, one, create products that athletes can succeed at, creating videos and content that will be helpful and beneficial to athletes around the world. So have a great afternoon. Appreciate you stopping by. And like I said, if you haven't yet subscribed, click the subscribe button and click on the bell icon, and that'll give you instant updates of when I make a new video. It'll be sent to you. So have a great afternoon. I'll talk to you next time.